All right, folks, back on the Boss Man Show, friend of the show. Albany Great Danes head coach Dwayne Killis from the Boss Man Show, doing his thing up there in Albany. DK, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
What's up, brother? It's always good to see you. You got positive energy. You got a great voice. I'm happy to be on with you.
Yes, sir, man. DK, man. Can you believe it's been 3 years already, man? Starting your third year, man. Because we talked when you got the job. So how's it been, man? Transition head coaching gig, man, and going to year three, brother.
I'm excited. I think we have some momentum going into the year after, what we were able to do in the portal. We recruited some really good players out of the portal and obviously retained back-to-back rookies of the year. And like two kids that, in today's world probably could have gone to the portal, but decided to stay, with our program. So I'm excited and very optimistic. Things have been good. Obviously kind of the highs and lows of college basketball. I mean, the highs, there's nothing like the highs and there's nothing like the lows. But you know what? We're starting the year. We're all undefeated right now. We're trying to stay that way as long as we can. But I'm excited about this group. I think we have a lot of potential.
DK, how has practices been for you all going through the spring here, the summertime? You had them as well. Now, fall ramp up. How has it been seeing you guys compete every day, learn to do things the Albany way, and get better every day, man?
Yeah, you know what? It's a great question. I think we're learning how to become a good practice team. We got a fun group. I'm blessed with a really good staff. KJ Baptiste, Ryan Daly, Dan Mahapalu, Jim Weitzel, who joined our group this year. Matt Cerruti, who's a player with us. Our first year was an all-league players on our staff this year, and John Weiner, who's one of our GA. We got a rock solid group, and we have a good time on the court. I think the piece that we're trying to learn is the habits that we have to build on a daily basis to be a really good team. We have talent, and we definitely have that. We have versatility. We have guys that can, throw no-look passes and make threes and all that. But the discipline that comes into winning, I think, is the part that we're learning every single day. But you know what? You walk in the gym, we turn the music up. We got the new Drake playing. We're having a good time. You know what? We're doing our drills. We do our build-up. And, we get to live competition. We give them a lot of freedom, to, I think, have success and also have failure. You need failure to figure this thing out. I think you need some failure to grow. And we try to, give our kids those opportunities and then build them back up, when they go through it. But we've gotten better. You can see it in the weight room. You can see it on their bodies. You can see it in their games, see it in the numbers. But ultimately, we got 2 scrimmages and the ball goes up, in the air on November 7th in a game against UMass to start the season.
No doubt, DK. I think that's the part of young guys don't understand quite like what you do is loving the hard, loving the suck, loving the process to get better every day. I think for me, being a son of a coach, it was never a problem to me. My dad had me doing drill work after school every day. So I'm used to it. But those drills we do, those stretches, everything matters. Everything we do on the court, off the court, conditioning wise, matters. With the love, that part, as well as playing the game, we all love to play as well.
Yeah, you know what? I saw this. There's an Instagram post, and Tom Crane was at Marquette. He was talking to their team, and I thought he had a great line. He said, "What's your relationship with hard? Do you attack it or do you fight it?" And I think it's really simple, but it's very true. When things get hard, do you kind of like that? And I think, talking to Shaka Smart about their program, I think that's what they built into the program. When things get hard, that's when they get better. Where I think some kids, and especially when you add the portal, everybody's trying to learn together about, who does what and how does this all work. I think when it gets hard, sometimes you back up versus like go and run and attack it. And I think we're trying to teach that with our kids. And, I actually took a line, from that same Instagram post from his talk to their team at Marquette, meaning Tom Crane. And he said, and I think this goes for every team, you have a chance to make this your best basketball story of your life in the season that you're in, but you have to do the things that people are asking you to do: coaches, teachers, professors, academic coordinators, athletic trainers. You have to do all those things over and over at a really high level to maximize the opportunity in front of you. And I think our kids are learning, what that looks like. They're learning what commitment looks like. They're learning, the habits you have to build, and how do you have a good day after an off day? I think our guys are learning that. It's not easy trying to win in college basketball, because the day you relax is the day you get beat. But I think our group has come together, and we did this exercise. We gave them 40-minute sheets. So they're basically a sheet where guys have to assign playing time for all their players. And this is really hard, because we have good players and guys believe in each other. But I thought that was the biggest takeaway. They really believe in each other based off of the words that they say, the actions and the exercise we're doing to try to build our culture.
100%. And also, DK, talk about this as well. Meshing your transfers with the returning guys. How seeing them make that synergy, that bond. Because I feel like we had transfers when I was playing that it was good to try to embrace them. Don't feel like outside, like you're outside. Make them be your brother from day one. How's it cool been seeing your guys mesh with the guys coming in versus the guys who are still with the program that you've been building you all already?
Yeah, we did. I said a retreat. We call it an advance. The idea is you move forward, not backwards. But we went out to a cabin, no cell phone service, and we talked. We told our stories. Kind of hero, highlight, hardship. Those three things. We talked about your greatest fear. We put a chair up next to everybody that spoke and said, "Who would you invite to the chair? Let's get to know each other." And I think that really helps with the relationships. Obviously, in a college basketball season, you don't really come together till you go through some adversity or you have some success. So we're getting to those points, obviously, the season coming up. One of the really cool things about this group, we have a couple guys that live off campus, but it's basically on campus. And they got an apartment, and the kids are there all the time, and I think they're with each other a lot. They go to soccer games and volleyball games together. But I think over at the house, Tuesday nights is their s'more night. The guys take turns. One guy gets a chocolate, one guy gets the marshmallows, one guy gets the crackers, and I think they're together and they talk and they dream together. They got a shrine that they've committed to the NCAA tournament. I mean, I think that's the cool things that make a team. You have some unique things that you do that make you whole. Now, can you stay together when I don't get necessarily what I want, but I understand I have to give something up for the greater good of the team? And we have T-shirts that say, give to get. What are you willing to give up to get something you never had? Easy to say, hard to do. We'll find out how committed we are to that, here in a couple of weeks.
No doubt. And you know what? And so DK, as you go into these close scrimmages you got coming up here, are you just trying to figure out rotations? Or are you just trying to see what you guys are doing, how we applying what we're doing in practice? So how you treating these close scrimmages that you have coming up here real soon?
Yeah, obviously we're playing to win. We want to get guys opportunities. I think we need to explore some lineups. We got some offensive actions, just like any other program that you really like, and you play it against somebody and it doesn't work the way you thought. I think those are the things we're trying to figure out. It's funny at our place, we're building a brand new arena. We go into it in a couple of weeks, but we're playing a temporary place, and it used to be a pool, so we lay down a court, but there's an overhang at the baseline of bounds line. So it's really hard to work on baseline of bounds plays and baseline out of bounds defense. So we need to see that to see, if our plan is going to work the way that we want. And I think it's also like, what are the things that you're missing too? What are the things you're not thinking about that are really important to your team? I think those jump off the page when you play a real live game against another opponent. And it's time, it's time to give the kids that reward of playing. It's October 19th, and we've been practicing a lot for a long time against each other. And I think it's time to see a different opponent.
Yeah, man. DK, can you remember when we went back when we was probably playing, like you come in October 15th and you have to cram everything in right before. And now we get all this time now to kind of from spring to now. I can imagine for the supporter world we're in now, trying to come October 15th to get things ready for season right in November.
Yeah, I think it's changed a lot. It used to be October 15th. Nobody knew who was on the team, and they run out there, Midnight Madness and all that stuff. And you crammed. But I do think coaches kind of learned a little bit during COVID, because COVID, you started practice a little bit later than you played games, so that window was a lot smaller. And I do think this extended period of time, you can beat up on each other. You can keep yourself out there for a long time. So I think right now, in the environment that you're in right now in college basketball, when you finally get a chance to play, and some people are playing a little bit earlier, some people did scrimmages last week, because I think the kids just get anxious to play. And then I think you do have a little bit better of a runway and understanding of, okay, what are our limitations right now? And then what do we need to do to really focus, take a big jump, for our team? And, you call a spade a spade. I mean, you got to help some kids that maybe they have a bigger opportunity than they thought, and you got to help them understand how to maximize that. Or some kids, they have some work to do. You got to go through that. There's a lot that goes into this. I think people, they see you walk out of a tunnel for a college basketball game, and it looks awesome. It's a lot of work that goes into it to get to game day, and to be ready to play on game days.
No, you're so right about that. I don't think fans realize that. No, I always tell fans, DKs, how important the strength coach is, because that strength coach is around the guys more than you all are sometimes. And a lot of those things they do for you all for is getting things from getting to your desk or taking care of things. That strength coach is so important to any kind of basketball staff organization because that guy or young woman is very important to what you all do every day, keeping guys healthy.
Yeah, Eloy Rivera, our new strength coach, he's been tremendous. Really like him. I mean, he's committed to our kids. He's committed to getting better at what he does. He's committed to making our program better. I think, to be honest with you, the discipline from your program comes from the weight room. Conditioning comes from there. I think mindset in terms of like whatever you think is really important. You walk in the weight room and I don't know, on your card it says 150 on bench press, but maybe your strength coach challenge you to get to 160. You have a growth mindset, and I think your strength coach can really help with that. I think, kind of the grittiness comes from the weight room, the togetherness comes from the weight room. I think that's a huge part to it. And honestly, the weight room is huge for recovery and maintaining your body, because you want to be strong. You want to be able to deal with the grind of the season. And I think that weight room really, really helps. And I think it gives kids confidence. I mean, kids. I mean, we were all in college. You start lifting in the weight room, you start wearing smaller shirts or cutoffs because you start feeling better about your body, and the ball goes in the basket and you're more confident. So I think our guy does a great job, and I'm really excited for the growth opportunities for our program and for the individuals, in the weight room space.
No doubt. And for you, DK, man, I know the hardest part outside of coaching and recruiting is the scheduler. So how was scheduling been? I see you have a tough non-conference schedule challenge, but I see you going home to UMass. So talk about that as well, man. Going back to your hometown to play Frank Martin, those guys.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have to play bye games at our level. It's part of how you help fund your program in the athletic department, and we have a great chance to play a really good UMass program. It's a place I grew up. My dad worked there for 40 years. I went to school there. I walked on prior to graduating from Hampton, but I went to day school there. It's really cool to take your team back to your hometown, but it's a huge opportunity, for us, and great opportunity to set the tone for the season. I mean, any of our bye games, not just UMass, and I don't mean this by any way to kind of whatever, but all of our bye games, our anticipation, we can go win those games if we play the right way, and we're going to play a really good Seton Hall team. We're going to play a really good South Florida program. We're going to play Temple at the Barclays Center. I mean, these are tough games. And I think in today's world, coaches, and, this is just my personal philosophy, obviously, I think everybody's in a race to get to 20 wins. But I think if iron sharpens iron, we can play really good programs. It helps us get better ultimately for our non-conference, schedule. Last year, our first year, we beat Boston College. It's because we played Kentucky. It's because we played Kansas State. We grew in those moments. I think this year, this group is mature and ready to play these teams that we're going to play. And hopefully, we get better from game 1 to 2, 2 to 5 to 7. I mean, we're not old. I think a lot of college basketball teams are built off, juniors, seniors, fifth-year seniors. We're more sophomore driven, and our juniors, I mean, we have one true junior. The other juniors we have in our program, they have either redshirted or they've been injured, so they don't have a ton of game experience. So I think we need these games to really accelerate our growth.
No doubt, man. I'm asking you about your conference, the America East. Talk about as a whole. I know that you all do a great job up there as well. And just talk about that as a whole, just trying to, with Vermont, been there for years. Bryant has been there for years. So let's talk about, now new, but been there in your college for a few years. So let's talk about just how tough it is every night at America East and trying to get you all as a whole, non-con schedule wise together, so I can maybe move up a seed line as well and determine once you all get there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really important, for our league. You got to play good teams. I mean, there's really good coaches in our league. I think underrated, to be honest with you. When you look at John Becker's done in Vermont, UMass Lowell, what they've been able to do building their program. Now it takes time. I think people are really committed to these coaches to give them time to get their programs where they want to be. I think everybody wants overnight success in today's world. To be honest with you, if you don't have NIL, it's hard to have the overnight success, piece. But I think there's just strong programs that have been able to recruit well, develop the programs well, and take incremental steps to having success. And then, ultimately, I think all of us is like, we're fighting in the non-conference schedule. And then you get to the league. The league is a bear. I mean, good teams, good players. I think there's players throughout our league, to be honest. I mean, nobody wants to talk about it, but we have players that I think high major teams would love to have. I think that's just what people have been able to do, both in player development and recruiting. And luckily for most of us, we've been able to retain talent. Now, you got to go and square up with guys and try to fight to get wins.
No doubt, bro. No doubt. With DK, man, I'm definitely happy having you on the show again. Hope we're talking in March once you win that championship, man, and go to the big dance.
Absolutely.
I'm putting in the air for it right now, brother.
Love it.
I'm putting that
Speak it
positive
into
seed in there,
existence.
brother.
Speak it into existence, man. I appreciate it. Whenever we get down to Atlanta, I don't know, maybe we'll play a Georgia Tech or something. We'll come see you.
Sounds good, brother. Hey, best luck to you, my brother. So hope to talk to you in March, buddy.
All right, buddy. Be good.
See you, man.
All right, brother.